Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generation discussion on the fallout from Boruto Chapter 79. And today I want to talk to you guys about why Rogue Ninja Boruto, his inevitable revenge battle against Kawaki, where he tries to right the wrongs that Kawaki and Ada have done via that Shinjutsu, where Kawaki used Ada's abilities to rewrite the reality of all the people around the world in order to make them believe that he was Naruto's firstborn child and Boruto was the ungrateful adopted son who killed Naruto and Hinata. However, while we all know that this moment is inevitably coming in the future, there's one major Chekhov's gun that has been brought to the Boruto manga that has not yet gone off, and it shows no signs of going off right now, which means that it's likely coming up at a later point in time. It's something of a delayed payoff, the same way it took us hundreds of chapters to pay off these Sage of Six Paths. Taking down Kawaki is not going to be as easy as Boruto and the fandom might actually believe it is. So all of this is coming to us via one of my patrons who DM'd me the reminder of the Chekhov's gun that we haven't seen yet used, which is that Kawaki mentioned in the past the idea of planting the Karma Seal onto code as a backup method for Boruto. Currently, Kawaki's Karma has the DNA of Amato's daughter Abiki, who Kawaki agreed to place the Karma Seal onto her clone Delta with the intent of having the Karma extract, thereby placing Amato's daughter's soul into Delta's body, which genetically is that of Amato's own daughter. However, my patron hit me up with a few interesting points that I wanted to raise to you guys in this video. So essentially, their message reads that the chances of Kawaki implanting Karma onto code and using it just in case Boruto or Sasuke kills him. Now, this grabbed my attention for a few different reasons. It's creative, but it's also building on information that we were previously told. But like I did in yesterday's video, where I addressed a couple of elephants in the room right up front, like how, oh, time doesn't move in the dimension that Naruto's in, and this show is called Boruto. I'm gonna address what Amato said earlier in the manga when he learned of Boruto and Kawaki's proposed plan to place the Karma Seal on the code, because there's probably already 20 comments in the comment section already saying this. So what exactly did Amato say here that's a red flag that has probably a good 20 or 30 people writing it down in the comment section itself? So in Boruto chapter 59, Amato specifically says that the plan to implant Boruto's Karma into code is not a bad idea in theory. If it works, then Boruto can be saved. You'll get rid of code, killing two birds with one stone. However, Amato said that he thought it was highly questionable if code could even be implanted with another Karma, even though the Karma he possesses is imperfect, and that even if it worked, code wouldn't sit around and wait for the Karma to finish extracting. While Amato didn't say it was impossible, he did give answers for both sides of the argument. The likely scenario that code can't be given a second Karma even though he has a dud Karma, and the other likely answer, which is that even if it worked, code wouldn't sit around and wait for the extraction in order for it to complete. However, with that being said, why do I believe this is a Chekhov's gun? Why did I take so much interest in this Patreon fan theory to bring it to you on the channel? Well, it goes back to Kawaki's descent into madness that we're seeing, and I think that sometimes we as a fandom overlook how far Kawaki's gone and just how early the signs that we were going to get here have actually been planted. He clearly isn't above using Otsutsuki methods to get what he wants. He was the first one to suggest this barbaric and inhumane method to be used on codes, someone who he hates, showing that even 20 chapters ago, for as much as Kawaki hates the Otsutsuki, he was already beginning to think like them and see how their methods can benefit whatever his goals were at the time, and he was even beginning to rationalize how to use the power. It's not a bad thing if I use it against someone that I hate. When you descend into that line of thinking, the goalposts will forever change. After reawakening the Karma Seal, he came to the conclusion that Karma wasn't a curse or a burden, but instead it was a tool given to him by fate, where he could be the one to bring about the downfall of the Otsutsuki clan by using the very power that they gave to him in order to eradicate them, killing whatever Otsutsuki remained and likely killing their vessels before them so as to prevent any type of reincarnation. He's gone from thinking of their methods in a beneficial way in theory to flat out using their power in ways that he needs to accomplish his goals. It was a gradual descent, but it's one that once it started, it began to ramp up significantly. A big part of the Otsutsuki power is that power of reincarnation via a karma. Kawaki, if he continues down this downward spiral, might very well stoop his lows to placing the karma on someone. While it might not be code, the Chekhov's gun is the fact that Kawaki has suggested planting the karma seal onto someone. It's important to remember Amato never shot down the idea that a vessel can give someone else a karma seal with their own data, not just the data of their Otsutsuki, which makes a lot of sense. There's a lot about the karma seal that we don't actually know. If a vessel can't make their own karma, Amato would have said as much in that moment. There wouldn't have been any need to go any further than saying that one thing, that it's impossible for a vessel to pass on their own karma. Code being highly questionable of being able to take on a second karma, it would be invalidated by the fact that a vessel can't use karma to make their own vessel. Same with Amato saying the what if scenario for Boruto succeeding. The fact that he didn't shoot down a vessel can make their own karma filled with their data before the Otsutsuki's DNA fully extracts into their body is a bit telling, and it reeks of a Chekhov's gun that has to go off at some point. Look, that boy Code might be in the process where he's taking a lot of L's, but the idea of Kawaki and Damon jumping this man the way that Seth Rollins and Johnny Gargano jumped Austin Theory at Elimination Chamber, it might be hilarious. The same with Kawaki shoving chakra rods in the Code in order to prevent him from moving and leaving him in a karma dimension like Jigen did Naruto, waiting for the karma to be extracted. But Kawaki has shown that he's smart enough that once he gets new information, he updates his stance, and now that he knows it's highly unlikely to work, that means he'd have to look somewhere else for a vessel. One of the things that we don't know is what exactly makes someone a good vessel for an Otsutsuki. Kawaki was a small child when he was given the karma. His father was a talented shinobi, but there wasn't anything remarkable about him based on what we were told. However, we do know that if a body is inadequate like Jigen's, that the karma won't work properly, with the vessel destroying itself if it uses a huge chunk of the host chakra for an extended period of time. We also know that Amato watched over 10 children die before they were able to find a host for Ishiki's karma, back when Jigen was being physically controlled by Ishiki, who was literally inside of his brain. This could be a really good time to learn what actually makes someone compatible with the karma seal, which to this day is one of the biggest unanswered questions in the series so far. Kawaki also happens to have a potential pool of people who might be immune to Ada's Shinjutsu, who he could choose to implant a karma seal onto if he ever learned that they weren't affected by it. Sarada has shown that she's unaffected. General thought is that Sumire is likely unaffected as well, since the Shinjutsu is a divine jutsu within a divine jutsu, so if Sumire was immune to the parent Shinjutsu, then she's likely immune to this one as well. Then we have the people who believe that Sasuke is likely immune as well, given that Sarada is immune. Now, my patron brought up the scenario of Sasuke trying to kill Kawaki. Assuming that Sasuke is the first one who tries, given we have a statement that Kawaki's stronger than anyone in the village, is it possible that Kawaki defeats Sasuke and implants him with the karma and just keeps him in that karma dimension waiting for it to extract, having him pinned down by chakra rods so Sasuke doesn't kill himself? Could he try something similar with, say, Sarada? Could that be why Boruto said, "I didn't think you would go this far" when he spoke to Kawaki in the flash forward sequence? I'm not 100% sold on karma being used by Kawaki in this way, let me make that very clear, but I will say I won't be shocked either. He's already fallen pretty far as it is. The idea of planting a karma to resurrect someone, the Chekhov's gun that might go off might very well be using karma to revive Amato's daughter. But I paused at that line of thinking because when Kawaki mentioned it, he was specifically talking about implanting it on an enemy, someone who he didn't care for with the karma. You could do a Bikram yoga stretch and say that the Chekhov gun is the act of using karma to resurrect someone who's human, so that would be Amato's daughter, having her soul be resurrected into the clone body of Delta, and the idea of Kawaki mentioning it in reference to using on an enemy, that could just be the author subverting our expectations. That could work, and I wouldn't be mad if that's the case. However, I am kind of torn on it because I think for as foul as Kawaki has acted in the last two chapters, where he's gained a lot of heat with the fan base, you could argue Kawaki is the best antagonist that the manga's had so far, with people who used to be Kawaki fans going so far as to say, I don't know if I can root for him, or I don't know if I should even like him anymore. I think he's at a point now where you've got to embrace the heat that he has and keep pushing the bar with how low it is that he can actually sink. Kawaki's descent has to continue in order to make the payoff of Boruto's ascension feel that much more earned when we get to the conclusion of the story. story. Think of it like this: Naruto bringing back Sasuke to Konoha after meeting him at Orochimaru's hideout, it doesn't hit the same as it does in Naruto Volume 72, where because there is a delayed payoff, truly set up for a better ending, because we watched Sasuke go deeper into the darkness and we saw Naruto overcome so much just to pull his friend out of that darkness. I know we live in an era now with YouTube Shorts and the TikTok era where everyone wants the payoff now. They want the Boruto plot twist to be resolved right now. They want it to be resolved in the next 2 chapters. There's something refreshing about using long-term storytelling to flesh a story out and make the ending feel earned for your readers. While I am a fan of the idea of Kawaki falling that low to use Karma on someone as a backup in the off chance that he gets killed, or even if he needs to do so because he knows there are risks involved with hunting down Otsutsuki and he needs an insurance policy in case he meets Otsutsuki strong enough to kill him, I'm not too sure that we actually go that route. But again, I love the idea. That being said, I'm curious to know how you guys feel about this Patreon fan theory. While you think that over, click here to watch my Chainsaw Man Chapter 126 review.